Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the best weapon combos that you are going to want to run on each role in Season 18. Having the right weapon combo on the role that you're playing is very crucial, so don't worry, I've got you covered. Let's break it down. But just quickly, if you're here, it's clear you're looking to take your Apex skill to the next level, so why haven't you checked out the GameLeap website yet? Over there, our top level coaches who have been to Predator, they've been to ALGS finals, they've played against the best of the best, are making the best, most highly informative guides to make you as good as you possibly can be. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and a bunch more bangers planned for Season 18. So no matter if you want to be dropping 20 bombs, 4Ks, or even just absolutely dominating ranked, we have solutions for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, let's jump into things. And to shake things up a little bit, today I'm actually going to be starting with the supports, the big boys in the back, holding it down for the team. And the weapon combo that I'm going to be recommending for you guys today is the Spitfire and the Peacekeeper. Now in Season 18, the Spitfire got a huge buff to its stability. It barely has any recoil. Honestly, I don't even think you even really need to be paying attention. You could probably have your monitor off and still hit basically dead center every single bullet. And that's exactly what a support is looking for. With the Spitfire, you're going to be able to send so many bullets downrange while your team is fighting, providing so much cover fire for them, which is extremely crucial. Supports have kind of a weird job because sometimes you're not actually going to be in the fight. You're going to be a little bit of a ways back in the medium range, holding down a spot in case your team needs a safe space to heal. But in those medium ranges, you need a gun that is accurate and can do a lot of damage, and the Spitfire is just exactly that this season. Typically in this spot, I do usually recommend the charge rifle or marksman rifle, but right now the Spitfire is just absolutely busted, and if you're not running it, you're just trolling. But to pair with that, you do need a very solid weapon so that when you slide into the fight, you actually are trying to take a spot with your team, or maybe somebody's trying to take a spot from you and they're rolling up on you. You need the shotgun that does massive chunk damage while you can play corners, or if you're playing Gibraltar, you can have a good bubble fight strategy. You need that solid weapon there, and that is why you definitely want to be running the Peacekeeper. Right now, the Peacekeeper is in such a broken position. Honestly, it's so good, I do expect them to nerf it in the near future because they probably overtuned it just a little bit, but until then, it is definitely a must run on these support legends. They can utilize the Peacekeeper a lot better than most characters because of their playstyle. The Peacekeeper is very pokey in those close range battles. You're playing behind a knockdown shield, you're playing behind a Gibraltar bubble, you're playing behind a corner, you peek out, you shoot somebody, you peek back behind cover. That's what the Peacekeeper wants to do, and it pairs so well. So start running this combination and start absolutely dominating on the support role. But next up, we are going to move into the secondary fragger position, and this one is going to be the Hemlock and the R99. Now, the secondary fraggers are usually the ones that are taking off angles, so they do need to have a solid medium range weapon that will allow them to get a lot of damage out in those off angle positions. And the Hemlock is actually a lot better than I was expecting it to be. I thought the Hemlock was probably going to go back to one of its mediocre positions in the tier list, but it does a lot of damage, it's accurate, it can kill somebody extremely fast, and right now I actually think it ranks above the flatline. So if you're taking those hard aggressive off angles with the Hemlock, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, you're going to get a lot of cracks, and you're going to open up a lot of opportunities for your entry fragger to do a lot more damage. Now, I am man enough to admit when I was wrong. I thought the Nemesis was still going to be a highly sought after weapon, but with the Hemlock being as strong as it is, I don't think the Nemesis is going to be as useful as it was last season. The Hemlock is just such a good burst weapon that there's no real need to craft Nemesis. I was going into the season fully expecting to be dropping on a crafter every single game in order to get the Nemesis, but right now if you're running secondary fragger, pick up the Hemlock, it's perfectly fine. But pairing with the Hemlock is the R99. Now, even though it did receive some nerfs, it is still an absolute machine. It is a little bit less forgiving due to there being less bullets in the magazine, but it is still able to one clip somebody. You still have pretty high damage potential, and on the secondary fragger, after you take that off angle and you start to rush in with your team, you do want to have still a little bit of distance. The SMGs still are in a good spot. The nerfs didn't hit them as hard as some people are saying. The R99 is still a fantastic option, so do not be afraid to pick it up. But the last weapon combo that we're going to be talking about is the one for the entry fraggers, the first ones into the fight. And right now for these guys, there is no better option than the Alternator and the Peacekeeper. Now the Alternator with Disruptor rounds is just an absolute beast. Disruptor rounds have always been a very strong hop up. In Season 2 when they first came in, you had to run an Alternator or you were trolling. When the Alternator went into the care package, again, a great option with the Disruptor rounds, and right now it's no different. If you don't have at least one alternator or one Spitfire on your team right now, then you are just throwing your game. And when you have the alternator and the disruptor rounds on the entry fragger, they're going to be able to do so much initial damage, crack so many initial shields, you can potentially take so many people out of the fight just so quickly. It's such a fantastic option right now. The alternator has shot itself into S tier, so definitely be keeping an eye out for one of those in your game. But pairing with it, obviously you got to go with the Peacekeeper. Now we have slid back into a hard shotgun meta. The SMGs last season were pretty strong, the shotguns weren't shining as much as they used to, but the Peacekeeper right now is just ridiculously strong. Now I know that finding 2 disruptor rounds to have on both of your weapons is going to be a little bit difficult in some games, but because they are very highly sought after, you are probably going to kill a team who also has disruptor rounds, so as long as you find one yourself and then kill a team with one, you should be perfectly fine. You might have to wait a little bit longer till endgame, but still the Peacekeeper is going to be doing a decent amount of damage on its own, that even if you don't find them, it's still going to be a very viable option. But after you do your initial entry damage, then you start to be a little bit more passive. You start to kind of play peekaboo with the enemies. And again, like I said with the supports, if you're peeking out shooting, peeking behind cover, the Peacekeeper just absolutely shines in that type of playstyle, so it goes really well with this situation as well. Now I typically don't like to have 2 of the same weapons in this style of video because I like to give people some options. The Peacekeeper is just too strong to ignore though. However, if you are looking to have a little bit more fun and you don't want to be as meta as other people, then instead of the PK, what you'll want to do is pick up either the Hammerpoint Mozambique or the Hammerpoint P2020 or even the Hammerpoint RE45, but I like the P20 and the Mozambique better. After you crack somebody's shields with the disruptor rounds, you can easily swap to the hammer points and just absolutely gun them down extremely quickly because they've got no shields. The hammer points and the disruptor rounds pair extremely well together, and depending on which one you are more comfortable with and which one you're more consistent with, you can absolutely just shred through someone's life total very easily. That being said though, I do recommend the Peacekeeper over those ones. That's just if you're looking to have a little bit more fun and be a little bit more unique. Now when it does come to the shotguns, the Peacekeeper is definitely the best option out there, but if you're like me, you sometimes don't like the feel of the PK. Some days it's off for you, it's not hitting, maybe you're not consistent with it. If that is the case for you, then you can absolutely pick up a Mastiff. It will still be pretty solid and will be able to do a lot of damage, but the Peacekeeper is just such a better option right now. It is definitely the go-to shotgun. The Mastiff did get a nice buff to tighten its bullet spread, so it is going to be doing a lot more damage and be more consistent, and the Mastiff was already more consistent than the Peacekeeper, so it's going to be a good option if you are the type of player that likes the Mastiff. Or if you can find a Peacekeeper, or maybe your teammates are taking all the disruptor rounds and you don't want to do that, then yeah, Mastiff is still a fantastic option and very viable as well. But let me know your favorite weapon combo to run this season in the comments down below. And if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, it's Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.